In today's video, I'm going to go over 5 reasons you should consider retiring today. Now, I love what I get to do, so don't get this confused with the idea that I'm anti-work. I want you, though, to understand when are you in a position where you no longer need to keep working. And so today, I'm going to go over those 5 main reasons to think through so that you can be excited when that day comes where you can be done working, and it makes it a little bit easier going to work every day. Once again, my name is Taublieb. I am a financial planner. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I'm the Vice President of Root Financial Partners. If you're looking for everything related to an early retirement, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit subscribe so you can be notified for all future early retirement content. So hopping right in, number 1, the first reason to consider an early retirement is that time is the only non-renewable currency. You can always make more money, not saying that you want to make more money or need to make more money, but time you can never get back. And it's very rare that you hear someone say, I wish I had worked 2-3 more years, versus someone who says, I wish I had retired a few years earlier while I had my energy, my health, and the desire to take these trips while maybe the people around you also had that same energy. Now, this is going to sound sad, but I have to bring it up because it's important. I've worked with people who were very excited for a long retirement where they were going to do all these amazing activities, and life kicked them in the butt a little bit because they had received some very difficult news medically, and they now were in a position where they did not know if it was going to be years or even months. And so that really made them think differently. The good news is here, they are doing okay. And if you're watching this video, I know that you are as well. So I know a lot of my current clients watch these videos, and I want you to know I'm thinking of you and excited that you get to take those trips you've been dreaming of. So I want you to know, if you're saying, Ari, I know that I'm very healthy right now and I'm not anticipating any health expenses, great. I don't want any major health events to occur to you, but I also need you to know that none of us know how long any of us are going to live. And because of that, it's so important to make sure that as you're looking at early retirement planning, that you are absolutely looking at it with the idea that none of us know how long any of us are going to live. So the last thing I want is for you to be in a position financially where you could be done sooner, but you don't, and you just keep working because it's easier to keep doing what you've been doing for so many years. Even if you know there are other things you just cannot wait to do, it's hard to pull that trigger. And it's supposed to be hard because unless you have a financial plan showing that you're in a position to do so, I don't know how people do it. The older that we get, the less valuable money becomes and the more valuable time becomes. So I want to make sure that you are not second guessing going out to eat or taking that big trip for financial reasons. Now, financially, if you're not in a position to do so, it's a different conversation. But the reality is more often than not, people reach out to me and they could have retired 6 months sooner or a year sooner. And I tell them, good luck quantifying that when it comes to your travel or energy or health or all these other things. It's really difficult, as you can imagine. So you have to strike this balance between making sure financially you're in a position where you can retire and never run out of money, but also making sure that you're saying, okay, based off of what I'm on track for, when can I really retire and not just keep working because it's easier, not just keep working because you're going, Ari, I don't know what markets are doing, I don't know where tax brackets will go, I don't know where all these potential variables might leave us, but because of that, I'm just gonna keep working. And then 2-3 years go by and you're going in the back of your head, and I might be in some of yours head at this point, it might sound like that, where you're going, okay, I know Ari's kind of back there going, do I need to keep working or am I just working because it's easier? So ask yourself that, which many people don't want to do, or it's hard to do because it truly is hard. It is difficult. I'm not expecting this to be easy, but I want you to think about it because it's too important not to. The second reason to consider an early retirement that you might not have considered is health. Now, I'm sure you've thought through health, but think about this. The average person that is coming to me is not the healthiest. And here's why. They've been grinding for 30 or 40 years. They have a mortgage. Maybe they've been taking care of children and kind of foregoing a lot of what's most important to them, which is okay and a good thing oftentimes, obviously. But I want you to think through, what have you really been putting off and what's the impact of that on your health? Oftentimes, not always, by the time that you get to that average retirement age, call it 60 or 65 if you will, most people are burned out and they are now saying, I'm going to take care of my health because I've been putting it off for some time. This can cause a lot of stress and lead to depression, anxiety, heart issues, you name it. And my job is to make sure that if I could save that by retiring earlier because you're in a position financially to do so, then we have to at least consider that. If you're not managing it well, it literally could take years off of your life. And once again, people say, Ari, are you obsessed with an early retirement? No, I'm obsessed with you knowing when you no longer need to keep working. If you enjoy work, great, please keep working. I enjoy what I do, and I plan on doing it for a very long time, but I know a lot of you don't feel that way. The third reason to consider an early retirement is that most people do not consider the impact of relationships on their life. Yes, they have friends at work. Yes, they have friends outside of work. Yes, there's family. But if you're retiring early, call it age 60, your friends or family might not be in that same position. So you're actually doing two things by retiring early. Number one, you're helping yourself because you're actually practicing what you're preaching when you tell maybe your friends, hey, consider going through a financial planning process to understand how much longer you need to keep working. Because if they're seeing you retire early, it may make the light switch go off, and it might make it go on where it's going, okay, I need to start thinking about my finances. And sometimes that nudge can actually be helpful to them. So yes, you're helping yourself by retiring early, but you're also making other people think about that. Now I want them to join you because as you're thinking through an early retirement, I cannot tell you how many people retire early and they go, oh, I'm going to have friends, I'm going to have relationships, and everything's going to go well. But most of their friends were at work. And so now that identity of friendship and relationships is lost. And so now they're going, Ari, what do I do? Now I have one client that tells me to tell every time during this video, they go, Ari, I need you to tell everyone to go check out Meetup, MEETUP. And that is literally Meetup, where you can go meet up with other like-minded early retirees in your area, or even sometimes there's people who are in college that are joining you, and you're just getting a diverse background of people who really can help you feel a close relationship, a connection. And so that's just something to always consider if you are retiring early. And you want to absolutely make sure you're looking at all the different relationship options. I know that sounds weird. Safe to say, the quality of our relationships greatly dictate the quality of our life. And I want to make sure you are going life first, money second, not what most people do is money first, life second. I need you prioritizing your relationships. And like I said, financially, you can go through a planning process with myself or another advisor or another firm to understand where are you lining up and are you in a good spot to consider an early retirement. But really, you want to start thinking through the bigger items, I would argue. Before going through the finances is, what are you going to do once you are retired? Okay, pretend, close your eyes. 8 a.m. Is that when you're waking up? Is it 9 a.m.? Can you not wait to sleep in? There's all these different things to think through, but that's just the start. It's then, okay, how do we foster relationships that really make you feel fulfilled in your retirement? Number 4, and I was thinking of putting this first because it's so important, but it's that your best years are limited. If you're retiring early, let's call it age 60, and you want to make sure you're living for the next 30, 35, 40 plus years, wonderful. All those years are not created equal. You are going to have your energy and health at the highest degree right in those first 5, 10 years. So when people say, I have 30 years to take these trips or enjoy the fruits of my labor, I get great, you absolutely do, but those years are not created equal. So people talk about years in terms of lifespan. I talk about it in terms of health span. How long do you truly have your health to be able to do these things? And what about your partner or spouse? What does their health look like? And if you're still working, are you putting off doing a lot of things you can't wait to do because of financial reasons? Or is it, oh my gosh, Ari, I don't even know how to think through the financial aspects, but I am worried every day because I know my partner's health isn't the greatest, and I don't know how long I'll be able to do things with them. And number 5 is that you are financially ready. The 5th reason to consider an early retirement is financially you can do so. The only way, in my opinion, to have confidence is through going through a financial planning process. But I do not, and I say, I do not want you to keep working for work's sake. I cannot tell you how many people do this, and it just not drives me crazy because the reality is a lot of those people I know still love working. So they say they don't want to keep working, but I know they do because I know them fairly well. But a lot of people do come to me that either become clients or are not clients, and they determine that, oh my gosh, I am working for the sake of just working. And they really do want to stop, but they just haven't done it yet. Now, I don't totally blame these people because we are byproducts of our habits, and our habits become our lifestyle, and so this naturally occurs. Where it gets interesting is people say they want something different, but it's rare that they actually take the steps to reach out and speak with a planner to understand if they are in a position to actually do all of these amazing things I've been talking about today. So let me reiterate. It is not bad to keep working. It is good if you enjoy what you're doing. But a lot of people have been putting off things they really want to do. And for financial reasons, it's not wise, safe to say here, that if you're working unnecessarily, then you're not really getting the most out of what you've worked so hard for. So it's my job to come back sometimes and be that bad guy, if you will, because I want to be the good guy, but I have to be that little tough love here of, hey, do you need to keep working? Maybe you do, and that's 5 more years or 10 more years. That's not always a fun conversation. Sometimes it's the opposite, where I'm coming back and saying, you're in a better position than you think. Yes, you can retire early. So of course, this is what I do. I love what I get to do. If you want to absolutely make sure that your early retirement is dialed in, where you're not second guessing going out to eat or taking that big trip or spending time with family, then reach out to myself or another advisor. I have told many people this, and I've gotten a few emails about this, but I currently work with a set number of clients, a very limited number of clients, and I will only work with a set number of clients for a certain period of time. I personally will stop taking on new clients probably February 2024. So depending on when you're watching this video, that's when I will take a step back and probably start limiting the amount of clients I take, but we are always training new advisors here at Root. I want to make sure they understand how do we actually retire well with confidence in relation to an early retirement. So I'm always prioritizing current clients. I'm making all this content for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you're considering hiring me or another advisor at our firm, I want you to interview us for thousands of hours through YouTube or different podcasts. Number 2, and the main reason, is I made a video, for example, maybe a few months back now. I said how to fund your children's wedding without worrying about how that impacts your retirement. And if you're still thinking while you're at your kid's wedding, if you're going to be able to take that trip to Italy or you're going to be able to go in the RV and do everything you want to do, then to me that's not really a successful retirement because it's still on your mind. So I want to alleviate that. So the reason I make content is so if you see something that resonates with you, but you want to go dive deep into the specifics of it, which I love to do, that's why people hire me. That's one of the main reasons people consider hiring me. So I will say that, but lastly, and then I promise I'll round out with a few other summaries here. When people come to me for planning, they will often say, Ari, are you going to manage all my money and you're going to be the CEO of our money? I go, no, I'm the CFO. And a lot of you have heard this analogy, but I'm not the CEO. You are the CEO. It's my job to optimize the business as the CFO. But what's the business? The business here is your time. So you are the one in control of what you want to do with your life. It's my job to advise you to help you do that in the best and most efficient way possible. So overall, what are the 5 reasons so you can consider retiring early? Number 1, in this no particular order here, your health. Number 2 is relationships. Number 3 is financially, if you're in a position to retire early, or are you just working for work's sake? Number 4 is time, and number 5 is that your best years are limited. A lot of these go hand in hand, but these are the main things that you can consider when it comes to an early retirement. And really, I make these videos so that if you're still contributing to your 401k, if you're a few years out from that early retirement, you can feel confident that one day that will come, and this will allow you to put yourself in the best position possible. Thanks again for watching today's video. If you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe and like this video if it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you don't know, I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and this is what I love doing. I help people create a custom strategy to retire early. You can always reach out to me or a member of our team here at Root, and we would be happy to walk you through our planning process to show you how we can help you get more life out of your money.